actually are four heavens. So I'm going to throw it up on the screen so you can visualize it a little bit. So here they are. Number one is the heavens, what I call the first heaven. That was what he created in the beginning. God created the heavens and the earth. It's talking about the universe. So we'll talk about that in a moment. The second was the heavenlies, or the heavenly places the Bible refers to. I'm going to call that the second heaven. And that, of course, is the atmospheric heaven, the air in which we believe and the space in which we live. The third one is called literally in Scripture the third heaven, and that is the place where God has his throne. We will also look at that. And then finally, we have the new heaven that we just read about. There's a new heaven somewhere coming. And so there's four that are mentioned somewhere in Scripture, and it helps us understand this a little bit. Some of you remember a couple of years back, I did a message called The Truth About the Multiverse, because everybody was into the multiverse. And I showed you this little bit of a diagram. I didn't include the new heaven because it hadn't existed yet. But here was sort of a picture. We had, the third heaven above, and we had hell below, and then we had the first and the second heavens where we lived. And so that was a little bit of an understanding of this.
Hey everyone. Hey dear brothers and sisters in Jesus Christ. Pastor Mark Hughes, if you happen to ever watch this video, I'm not being rude to you, but you're a smart man. You have the gift of the gab. You speak very well and you know Scripture, except you do not know God's true creation. God made a flat, motionless, and domed with his firmament earth. Earth is creation. It's not a universe. There is no outer space. On page 1 of the Bible, in Genesis 1:1, it describes a firmament with waters above. What do you think that is? It just doesn't exist. And when you're talking about the heavens, first of all, the King James Bible is the true Bible to read. I'm sorry, it just is. I'm not trying to be like a King James only person, because I started out reading the NIV and I still got things from it. So I'm kind of on the fence about King James only, be so strict about it. But it says the heaven and the earth. There's no S on heaven. And when you say heaven, that can still be plural without the S. I'm just bringing that little fact up there, that little tidbit. But when I was so pained and rolling my eyes through the sermon this morning, I go to the Church of the Rock in Winnipeg. Mark Hughes is right here, is the main pastor. He does not believe in flat earth, and I've seen a video in the past mocking it. I think he even believes in the post-tribulation rapture, which is not true, and I don't want to argue about that thing either, but when he talks about the Big Bang and outer space and the universe, he does not know God's true creation, and it's very painful. I'm sitting in church listening to this stuff, and it's ridiculous. Outer space, the universe. God made earth, the heaven above the earth, and he also made hell below the earth. Hell is literally below us. The firmament dome is above us. The waters above are above us, and the heaven are above us as well. And I do believe there's multiple layers of heaven. The atmosphere is one version of heaven, and above the waters above is the third heaven where God does sit. I do agree with him on certain points, but when he talks about the Big Bang and the universe, Christians should know the earth is flat, motionless, and domed with God's firmament. There's waters above, not outer space. There is no outer space. Outer space is in the firmament dome. It's the stars and the wandering stars, which the world calls planets. They are lights in the sky. They're not that big the way science and man describe them. There's no life on them. There's no aliens coming from them. They are lights in the sky. They are for signs and symbols and other things like that, but it's not a universe that goes on forever and ever. Listening to his sermon today, I was just I kind of wanted to just leave, but I'm no, I know people have different opinions and views on things. I still think this guy, he knows his Bible, but he does not know God's creation. He's like most of the world. He's deceived by the world and man. Are you going to read the Bible literally? And I know there's, parables and stuff. I'm well aware of that. But for the most part, the Bible is describing what creation is, like in Genesis and throughout the Bible. He even brings up Psalm 19:1, where it says, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament shows his handiwork." What do people think the firmament is? It's a dome that covers the earth. It truly is. When I came to Flat Earth years ago, it wasn't the shape of the earth that got me. It was the firmament dome above the earth. And I'm like, well, of course, God's literally right above us. Heavens are literally above us. And there's waters above. What do you think it means when God says there's waters above the firmament? Do you think he's lying? Do you think there's no waters above the firmament? When you look at stars through a high-powered camera or telescope or whatever, do you not see them rippling like light? Like when you look at a pool, which is full of water, obviously, when you look at a pool and the sunlight hits it, like you see the ripples. You see like it's shimmering in a way. You guys know what I mean, right? Like that's what the stars look like because they're in the firmament and there's waters above. They're lights in the sky. They're not like, he even talks about like light years and like creation is billions of years old. He's not listening to the Bible here. He's listening to man and science. And I think a lot of people are like, well, you got to trust science. You're a moron if you don't trust science. Science and man are lying to you. They are. The Bible is the truth. It explains what creation is. It explains who we are. It explains where we're going. It's full of wisdom and knowledge and the truth.
I love what Charles Spurgeon said about heaven and hell. Charles Spurgeon was a great preacher over 100 years ago in London, and he had a Bible school, and he used to teach his students, his prospective pastors, and this is what he told them. He said, when you preach about heaven, your face should light up like the sun itself. And when you preach about hell, well, your regular face will probably just do fine. So here we go. We're going to talk about these four heavens. The first one is this. It says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That is the term, heavens, that is used in Scripture to describe the universe. And the universe, we now know, is 13.67 billion light years from one side to the other.
No, it's not. Earth is creation. Earth is creation. Of course, there's the heaven, but Earth is creation. Outer space does not exist. It's not that far away. It's inside the dome. It's not massive. It doesn't go on forever. There's no black holes. There's no ever expanding. God created creation in 6 days, rested on the seventh day. There is no universe, Mark Hughes. I'm not trying to be rude to you. I like you as a person, but you're very full of yourself. You love yourself a lot, and there's nothing like that wrong with that. If you want to love yourself, whatever. But like, you're saying these things as if it's facts. Why do you think so many people and Christians in the last few years have come to flat earth knowledge? Because it's the truth. We're not stupid. We've researched a lot. We're not afraid of looking stupid. That's the thing. A lot of people are afraid of it. They're weak. They don't want to look into it because it's so stupid. I don't want to look stupid. The people are going to eat their hats that believe in Satan's globe and the universe. There is no outer space and universe. It's inside the firmament dome. Earth is creation. Do you know what I mean when I say Earth is creation? It means Earth is creation. It's not taking away from God's majesty. To think that there's like ever-expanding space that's like billions of light years away and like billions of years old, no. Earth is a young creation. It's 6,000 to 7,000 years old. We're wrapping things up. The rapture is going to happen, and then people will find out the truth of things, right? When we're caught up in the clouds, in the heaven.
We have no way to comprehend the size of that. That if you...
I know. This is what science and man tell you. We can't even comprehend it. Well, God's creation, Earth, we can comprehend that a little more, right? And like... God is majestic. God is holy and righteous. Like, I'm not taking away anything from God, but I'm telling you the truth. Why do I know the truth? I've researched for a long time, and I'm not afraid of looking and sounding stupid. I'm not afraid of that. I know people that believe in the globe and space are wrong. I know this. I don't think it. I know it. So listening to this sermon today, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I want to walk out of this nonsense. This is just garbage.
You could travel at the speed of light, 186,000 miles per second. It would take you 13.67 billion light years to get from one side to the other. There's 100 billion.
Are you listening to these numbers he's throwing out there? Like it's facts? Are you absolutely joking, Mark Hughes?
Galaxies with 100 million stars in each galaxy. This is beyond any human comprehension. Why?
Right? And in the Bible it says there's one sun and one moon. But science and man say there's millions of moons and suns, and all these planets have suns and moons. No, they don't. There's the sun, the greater light, the moon, the lesser light, the stars in the constellations, and the wandering stars, the planets. They're all lights in the sky. That's it. Again, they're more important than that, and they mean more than that, but they're lights in the sky. They're not that far away. They're not out in outer space.
Tell you why. Because he is trying to demonstrate his majesty compared to our infinitesimally small existence in comparison. That's what he's trying to do. And there's a purpose, because...
No, he's not. He's not doing that. He wants you to understand. And Mark Hughes is not understanding this. He's a smart guy. He speaks very well. I think he's a good pastor in ways, but he does not know God's creation, and I find it annoying, it makes me mad, and I find it embarrassing.
Because let's face it, the universe is too big. I would call it unnecessarily big, unless there was a bigger purpose for it. And here it is. It's Psalm chapter 19, verse 1. Check this out. He says, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament shows his handiwork. Do you know that in ancient times,
I'm not going to go, like, I'm going to link this video below if you want to watch the sermon, like, you know, whatever. You can, like, see what someone says about these things. But, like, he even brings up 19:1. Werner von Braun, the Nazi Freemason NASA guy who founded NASA, was a Nazi. He has that on his gravestone, Psalms 19:1. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament, which is a dome covering the earth, it's not out in outer space. People that mock this are going to find out one day, and again, I say often now, they're going to eat their hat. They're not going to be pleased. Like, I remember realizing this, the fear of God hit me. I was very anxious, and I had a lot of anxiety about it, because I'm like, wow, the world lied so much about these things, and God and his word are true. It made me a Christian. God bless you, everyone.